Alright guys, I am officially back with a better microphone setup and hopefully a better layout. As the playthrough goes through, I will be adding a specialized background with a display of all the different Pokemon that we have caught so far. But for now, let's just focus on getting started. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Heck yeah, it's my favorite grumpy old man. Yeah, so for all of you who don't know, this is Professor Rowan, and this is going to be the Gen 4 version of Pokemon, so that's Pokemon Platinum to be more specific in case the title screen didn't clue everybody in, but I wanted to revisit this game just because I recently played the remakes, and I was not particularly satisfied with how those came out. And it did make me a little nostalgic for, you know, the old stuff, so... And then this is kind of a feature that's going to show up a little bit. So touch the button on the middle of the Pokeball, if you'd please. No problem. And of course, for me, I'm using my mouse, but if you're still playing on the original DS or whatever DS you have that can still play it, you would be clicking on it with your stylus, or sometimes I think you can even hit the A button to get it to work as well. It's a feature they worked in because some of the screens were breaking and they wanted to have like a workaround for that, because I think there was one Pokemon game where if you had a broken touchscreen you couldn't proceed. That might have been this one actually. What do? I conduct research so that we may learn more about Pokemon. No shit. Now why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Are you a boy or a girl? Well, we already know where I'm sitting on this one. Just as a whole, I've always played the male character. That will not change anytime soon unless they really do make a really fun design. But I will not be doing what my predecessor self used to do, which was type my name in all caps. Oh, we do not want that though. Hang on a second. And yeah, so after playing a new game of Explorers of Sky last night, I actually have a pretty decent handle on some of the controls involved with the specific emulator to my keyboard. It was a little touch and go for that stream, so I kind of owed everybody a big fat apology. And we're also going to be leaving the character name as Barry, by the way. That's your friend's name? Man, he's not my friend, he's my neighbor. Don't get it twisted, alright? But yeah, no, so hopefully, just right off the bat, even though the actual display is a little wonky, it should improve over time as well. Oh, I can even skip ahead a little faster. Now go on, leap into the world of Pokemon. Don't mind if I do. And we shrink. We shrink! Pokemon are by our side always. I hope you will understand the meaning of those words. That was the comment left by Professor Rowan, who has returned to the Sinnoh from the Kanto region. I do like that they've done this more recently, where they've kind of interlocked the games a little bit more. Well, actually I should say, the way they used to, they've kind of almost leaned away from that, with the exception of like having prior generation Pokemon showing up in future games. I don't think they've really made the effort. Oh. There you are. Hey, Red, did you just see the TV? Sure you did. Professor Rowan's that really important guy who studies Pokemon, right? That means he must have lots and lots of Pokemon. So if we ask him, I bet he'd give us some Pokemon. I mean, I don't think that's how that works. Oh hey, is this a new PC? Don't break it. Where was I? Oh right, we were gonna go see Professor Rowan and get some Pokemon. I'll be waiting outside. Okay, right, if you're late, I'm gonna fine you. For fuck's sake, my dude, just take a chill pill. Although, in all reality, I definitely am, like, the Barry of my friend group. So, like, I joke, but, you know, like, let's be real, like, that's definitely just how I behave 25/8, so I can't really knock him too bad. And then, oop, Don't go into the tall grass. Wild Pokemon might try to attack you. It would be okay if you had your own Pokemon, but you don't. So... yeah, so that's kind of a fun feature that I think would be really funny to see in like a Pokemon game someday. They kind of have touched on a little bit. He's home. Okay. That's right. It's been a minute since I played. I wish they could have a feature like that where you could actively like get away from Pokemon. What was that all about? Oh, hey, Rhett. Hey, I'm gonna go see Professor Rowan. You should come too, and quickly. Well, didn't you just invite me? Oh, geez, forgot something. What a fucking icon, man. My man didn't even take his traveling supplies? He was just gonna run out the door all but buck naked and just hope for the best? Is that... whatever floats your boat, my man. You probably wouldn't need any of that stuff anyway. Man's built on adrenaline and pure childhood joy. He doesn't need anything else. Let's see here. I do absolutely love that he doesn't actually fine you for anything. What you do is you scoot over to the next patch of grass before any wild Pokemon can appear. If we just keep dashing, we can get to Sagittarius Town without running into wild Pokemon. Oh boy, here we go. Hold it! Yeah, I sure hope so. Where's the most... we have a responsible adult. You don't seem to have any Pokemon between you. Then what is the meaning of going to the tall grass? Yeah, get smoked, Barry. It's Professor Rowan, isn't it? What's he doing here? You called him an old man to his face. Come on now. Of course we love Pokemon. You could ask 100 times. The answer will never change. We love Pokemon, right? Well, of course, yeah. Can't start the adventure without it. There are some Pokemon that I wish maybe weren't invented, but I'm not gonna focus on that right now. Aw, buddy, forget about me. No, you're okay, bud. We both get Pokemon, yeah, because you have accountability, my man. Promise we will never recklessly endanger ourselves again. Hey! It's the funny anime girl! I still think it's absolutely hilarious that my first introduction to this game as a whole was through like the actual anime. I didn't get to play the game in its full peak until after the anime had already started, and that's actually where I found out about the game, and I'm almost positive that was, I mean, that had to be the intent, right? Going up to the briefcase and choose. Alright. So I've gotten input from a few of my friends because when I played this game, I wanted to do some stuff I hadn't touched in a while, and if I had to, basically if I had to boil down which Pokemon I've ever used the least, I would have to say I used Torterra, and given that I kind of want to have a bit of a challenge, I want to pick something that's not Infernape, which kind of lines up with my friend recommendation anyway, and it's a Pokemon that I've previously used. No. Well, So that was not supposed to happen. I was supposed to pick Piplup, and now I have to watch my beloved swooped away by another idiot. So I am just glad that this rival seems to actually take care of their Pokemon, unlike half of the people that your rival ends up being in these games until like the 6th generation. So that's unfortunate. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I was originally gonna make this game a Nuzlock, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call my idiocy just a revenge of luck, I suppose. Well, I'll make the most of this, and I mean, ultimately, it's gonna be a fun playthrough for me, more or less. It's gonna be slightly structured and strategic, but for the most part, I'm kind of just gonna be playing it by ear. Pardon me. Oh, we're gonna do a battle right here and right now. I have a bit of a dislike for Infernape, mainly because design-wise I'm not super crazy about it, but also it just because it's the de facto ace Pokemon to use for playthroughs. I've always just found that it very rarely ever poses a genuine challenge in a playthrough, and I do kind of like to have some variety there, because once you get it leveled up to a certain point, you can take out like the first half of the trainers relatively easily on its own. Obviously, now that I'm, like, obviously, you know, as an adult, I understand the concept of balance, so that won't necessarily be an issue anymore. So hopefully that means I can still keep the playthrough fun and interesting. And there won't be a ton of types to combat it too, because there were a few water types I would have preferred to use in this playthrough, so if I had chosen Piplup after all, it probably would have sunk it. But yeah, so I guess we'll just make the most of this, and then I apologize for the clicking in the background as well, unfortunately. And he makes his first move of the day. And in the meantime, we need to think of a name for it. Get this fight over with quick here. Generally speaking, the rival battles are usually pretty easy, but, you know, obviously when your opponent's doubling down on all the attack lowering moves and you haven't, you know, this is pre-special attack gimme at the beginning, so I will get an actual specialty type move here pretty soon, but it's gonna be a minute. Let's go ahead and try a defense lowering move here, just to get something, because I've got a few moves in me. Even with a critical hit, I think I should be okay. Yeah, and even then there's no crits, so let's see if that whittles us down a little faster. Yeah. Okay. Don't be a crit, don't be a crit, don't be a crit. Good. Okay. This should do it if it hits. And down goes the Piplup. Let's see what our experience is at now. Yeah, there we go. So basically, after each battle, whether you're playing Diamond and Pearl or you're playing this game, the end of your first battle should theoretically always get you over the line between level 5 to level 6 with kind of a varying level of experience left over. So you should have a lot to go through. So then, the other interesting thing about these games, too, is that Diamond and Pearl, the gameplay in the beginning is drastically different. Like, outside of that, I mean, there's some, you know, tempi differences. That's what happened? Yeah, so, like, and also I think the text here is almost identical to Diamond and Pearl, because it makes it sound like it's so much worse. Ooh, are we getting the running shoes? Yes! Okay, cool. It's a really good thing I figured out how to work that B button then, because otherwise, you know, that would have been really awful. So, With the running shoes, we should see some pretty good progress going forward. But yeah, and I mean, obviously it allows a lot of things, but the other thing that I've always found too, I'm not super well versed in a lot of the technical stuff behind like the actual gameplay and stuff, but with the running shoes, I'm pretty sure it also increases your odds that other Pokemon in the tall grass that you normally would not have run into if you were walking occur more dramatically. So again, I'm not 100% certain if that is the case or not, but let's see here. And then I've already been considering a name for this Chimchar, and I just think it's really funny. Well, I mean, maybe it's not super funny. Obviously, I've got a lot going on, and I'm gonna be... Oh yeah, that's right, we're going to the lake. Okay, cool. So we do actually get to do some grinding beforehand. He even says so on the sign. I've also seen the Mothman signs. Okay, but like, I didn't realize he was talking to Mesprit this first time that he was here. I straight up thought he was just chatting to himself. Which, I mean, he is crazy, so, you know, that checks out no matter what, but... Oh yeah, that's right, we do actually get to see it. Pretty sure, anyway. It was a legendary Pokemon crying. That had to be it. Let's catch it. Oh, God, I wish it was that easy. Yeah, we don't have anything. You're gonna race me? Alright, well, I, for one, am gonna do some leveling up here, because I want to be ahead of the game. Is it not gonna... Okay, good. It will. I thought it wasn't gonna give me any encounters, because it's part of the in-game stuff, so... Alright, buddy. And because Starly are a little bit intimidating, I really do want to try and do this in one hit if I can. They've got a really good accuracy rate, and they have a really high likelihood for crits in the wrong situation. Obviously, maybe not with like a tackle, but... I don't think it's gonna clear it in 2 hits, though. Just enough, yeah. So then... Good, he's not attacking, and I have a defense lowering stat on him already, so my attack should hit about normal then. Which is more than enough anyway, so... Up to level 7! Woo! And there's that Ember. So that's gonna make this a million times easier. And then generally speaking, I try to have one Pokemon that I want to keep on my team at a time. And I want to have an electric type, whether or not I'm going to keep it on my team or not full range, because my favorite electric type is something I can actually reasonably get in this game, and I really would like to see that happen for once, because I didn't get to do that when I was younger. And once we get to that point, I'll definitely share which one it is, because it's definitely a latter half Pokemon that I'm not going to get for a while. But there is an electric type that we can get just one route ahead of us here, and that is an all-around really good Pokemon just in general to have. So even with... So even with it being on our team almost at the end of the game, it's a Pokemon that's specifically made to last your whole playthrough. So regardless, it'll carry a lot of weight no matter what. And who's to say I might keep it, or I might swap out a different Pokemon and just have 2 electric types, because I tend to get pretty sentimental about my early game choice Pokemon. Like, I actually, even though I had to kill that one, I really like Bidoof, actually. It's the funny meme Pokemon now, but, like, it's actually kind of bulky. I really started using it back in Legends Arceus, and I was blown away by, like, by its stats there. And then I tried it for a Nuzlock playthrough of, well, it's obviously a little easier nowadays, but I used it for the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl playthrough. Well, he's gone. Yeah, but Bidoof is actually, B-Barrel is really, really tanky. So for a Nuzlocke, I ultimately ended up using him in the later games where he wasn't effective move-wise to cover some extra ground on the, like, you know, just like a hit punch, you know, punching bag type situation, so I could heal things up or whatever. Because I did allow myself items in the latter half of the game, just because the EV and IV curbs are so steep. And then this is where we get to name our Pokemon. I hope I have enough room. And we're gonna name him Pinguino, after what could have been. I am happy with that nickname. I'm not happy with why it has to exist. Yeah. That's how I feel every day, trust me. There's a bond growing between you and that Pokemon? Well, I should hope so. We've made some progress. Was she gonna kill us? That sounded like a bit of a threat. You want me to do something? Alright. Properly introduce myself. As you know, my name, as you know, is Rowan. I study Pokemon. First of all, I want to know exactly what kinds of Pokemon live in the Sinnoh region. To do so, it is necessary to collect data using the Pokedex. This is what I wish to ask of you. I'd like to entrust you with this Pokedex. Will you use it to record all of Sinnoh for me? Yes, I will. I am a completionist, so that will be probably my favorite thing. It might be a little irritating playthrough-wise, but I do fully intend to go through the game and kind of like, collect all the Pokemon from each route, and then hopefully go back later on, and evolve them. The experience share I really don't want to use on what I call junker Pokemon, which is Pokemon that I don't intend to use for a playthrough, but need to catch for the Pokedex. I won't use junker Pokemon on my team when I have an experience share. I only plan on using that with my current team. However, what I do for Pokemon that are at a low enough level that do need evolution is once I've defeated the Pokemon League, I'll take my strongest Pokemon with me, and then 5 of my lowest level Pokemon, until they've leveled up enough to evolve all the way. And then I'll cycle that over and over again until I can't anymore. And then I'll just restart it from the beginning over and over again. And then that's how I will kind of finish things out. Pardon, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get started. Oi! I should take what? TM27. TM's still breaking this game too, so that's the other thing. It's the move Return. Ooh, okay. I won't be using this on Infernape, but I do have a Pokemon that I plan to use this on. I have 2 Pokemon on my team in the future I'm planning on having that will require a friendship evolution. So I definitely will be using that as a meter until I can get the friendship meter on Pokesh. And then while she's rolling through this, right, because this is, the Red Roof is the Pokemon Center. It's the place that heals Pokemon that have been hurt in battle. You can find a Pokemon Center in most towns. This is true. The building with the blue roof over here is the Pokemart. It's a shop where you can buy and sell items like medicine. Since you're a novice trainer, you won't be able to buy many kinds of merchandise. Don't let it bother you. Yeah, so I wonder how they metric that in-universe. Because logistically speaking, they have to have some way of knowing, right? I have to let my family know I'm leaving, but like, do I though? Do I? Yeah, sure, why not? Heal up your Pokemon at the Pokemon Center, and a lot less scary that way. I mean, I don't think it's all that scary. And then, pardon the background sound here, I just gotta get a quick swig of my drink. Alright. Back to it. So yeah, let's actually do a quick heal, just in case, because if we do run into another Starly, I don't really want to risk how early on those crits start coming back into play. I just don't remember off the top of my head, and I really don't want to look it up right now. Rest my Pokemon. Yes, I would love to, thank you. And as I go through the game, anything that I've found that's noteworthy that I think other people might enjoy learning about, I will definitely mention it. And in the meantime, I'm actually working on getting a capture card for my Switch so that I can focus on games that are a little newer too, so that people can play some stuff that's actually relevant. Because obviously Pokemon Platinum's great, and there's a lot of people that still love it, but not a lot of people are able to play it unless they have a PC that lets them use an emulator. So, you know, it can be a little tough. We're gonna fight. I should have used Ember, yeah. Oh well, this will be a 2-hit KO no matter what if I use Ember anyway. Boop. And then what I think I'm gonna do is I'll get to the tutorial chunk here, and then I'll probably call it a day from there, because, or at least for this recording anyway, I don't want to bog down this episode too much. As much as I would love to get it all over with in one go, there's still a fair bit of hand-holding even after we get out of Sajim Town too, so I'll probably cut that into 2 bits so that people can skip it. If they need to, because as much as I would love to bore you all to tears, I don't like being bored either, so I'm probably not gonna worry about that. And I do like having longer form content too, just because, I mean, if you want the cynical old person answer, I just simply want people to have the opportunity to watch something longer than 30 seconds for a change. But another thing too is, just simply put, playthroughs usually tend to be a lot more what's the word? I don't know, content heavy, a little bit more fun to invest in watching if the episode itself is around like 25, 30-ish minutes. Because then it's one of those things that you can put it on in the background and you can kind of listen to me talk about what's going on without necessarily needing to be 100% dialed in. Or you could put it on the background for a longer video as you're going about your day. And then I can benchmark it so that certain checkpoints are in the title, and what I'll probably do too is I'll specify where the playthrough starts and where it ends in the description as well, so that it's a little easier for people to track where they might need to catch up on. And then hopefully that'll kind of make it a little easier for everybody that wants to tune in but maybe needs to skip the intro stuff. And that's why I'm trying to talk over as much of the dialogue as possible, because odds are if you're watching this, you're able to read it probably about as fast as I'm going through it. But in addition to that too, most of the people that are watching this are probably people who have already played this game before and they just really want it over with, so. And then, yeah, so like she's saying, basically the first place that we have to definitively head to is Jubilife City, but there is a little bit more that we have to do before that can be achieved. So let's go ahead and get some of our steps in. It's a Bidoof! It's Jesus! No, it's not. It's God. That's what it is. Let's see here. We do not disrespect Bidoof in this house, young man. I actually have a Bidoof plushie on my desk with me right now. It's a really good quality Bidoof plushie. I don't know if it's still for sale, but I got it out right around the same time that Scarlet and Violet came out. It was in their plushies bin. Still trying to complete my Evolution plush collection, so, you know, I always go and check in there whenever I have free time. And it just so happens that Bidoof was there, so I absolutely jumped on that. I love Bidoof design-wise, especially the plush made him look super, super cool. Not a massive fan of B-Barrel's design, but I do absolutely adore him in gameplay, so that makes up for it for me. I'd like a life-size Bidoof plush and a life-size B-Barrel plush so that they can sit next to each other and be best friends. That'd be really cool. Oh, and we finally get a burn effect. Fantastic. I don't know if you can hear me crunching up my knuckles here, so if you can, I'm sorry, but I am what they call double-jointed, so if I need to crack my knuckles, I will be. Otherwise, I will be very sore. Level 8. Why the hell is half of the 8 gone? I'm level 0! Alright. I actually think that's really funny. Alright, so then... let's see... I have money now. I don't think I need anything yet. So what I'll do is I'll probably stock up if I need to after we get through this tutorial video. Because this is what this is. This is just on teaching you how to catch Pokemon. And if you've ever played a Pokemon game ever, you're probably gonna be just fine. The one thing that I wish, and I mean obviously games have done it since then, but in this game it just seems so weird to me that you couldn't just make it move a little faster. Like, it's showing you what to click on with the mouse. I just wish you could speed it up just a little. Because I don't take this long to stare at my screen when I'm playing this game. But yeah, once this particular segment, the nice thing about it, while you're playing it, is that you actually don't have to click anything. So if you kind of want to unplug and just kind of, you know, do something else for a second, you don't actually have to click the A button to progress in this specific chunk. You can just let it happen, obviously until you get back to this page. Isn't that neat? It's actually better to lower the target's HP more than I did. The important thing to know about getting your HP down low is that, yes, it can work, but for my specific example, since I used Ember on that last one and I got a burn, if you're trying to catch something, don't use anything that can inflict a status condition other than, like, paralysis or, like, maybe sleep. I don't think any active attacking moves necessarily that can cause damage also cause sleep, but, status moves outside of that are going to kill your Pokemon eventually, whether it's through direct damage or just chip away damage, but let's go ahead. I think it'll pop up just about anywhere. Let's see if we can find it right away though, because the sooner I can get some experience on it, the better. It is not Scarlet. Pinguino. And generally speaking with wild Pokemon, I do my best when I'm this close to a Pokemon Center or a Pokemart where I can load up on stuff. I generally try to use each encounter as a means of getting to the inevitable part, you know? So leveling up or getting a new move, whatever the case may be. Sometimes steps add up for evolution or egg hatching, things like that. So I try not to skip them if I can help it. But we are going to have our first battle. And this dude actually, if you have a Turtwig, this could be a really hard battle actually, depending on how much you've leveled up prior. It's actually the sole battle that caused me to level up my Pokemon 3 to 4 levels in advance, because Scarlet at this point is high enough of a level to have Peck, I believe, is the move that it had. Quick Attack is another one. Ugh. And it can do crits with that. And I just distinctly remember having Turtwig my first several playthroughs and just having the worst time with this battle. Obviously it looks super easy because I got a critical hit with a flamethrower, but I remember one specific playthrough that I did with Turtwig, and it genuinely took me 3 tries before I could get past it. And the first time it happened, I didn't heal at the Pokemon Center before taking this route on, so I just remember having to walk all the way back. It was awful. For, you know, little 12-year-old me, but even still, the irritation on that's enough for anybody to just kind of be like, ugh. So, note to self, before you go to this route, just make sure you heal at the Pokemon Center even if you don't need to, because it sets your save point, I guess, figuratively speaking, so that if you lose a fight here, if you lose a battle here, you just get reverted back to the Pokemon Center and not back to your hometown, which is going to add a lot of extra stuff on. So, hurt by your burn, get wrecked. Nobody can handle the heat of Mr. Pinguino. I have the better penguin. And I learned Taunt. Oh man, Taunt's fun. I have to recall what specifically it does. I just know it was one of those moves I didn't realize served an actual purpose for a while. It just didn't seem like it did. But I remember reading up on it a while back. If I remember it, I'll bring it up in the next episode too, just for clarification there. Let's see here. Let's try Scratch. Since we're high enough level, it should do about half at least. Yeah, okay. When I am running super low on HP juice here. Oh, Jesus. That might make it really difficult if I want to... Key item in the bag. Yep, okay. There we go. It's this button. What do we got in here? I don't have anything for healing, so I might actually have to walk all the way back. Alright, well, at least we didn't run into anything to slow us down that whole run, so. Doesn't mean we have to start all over as far as getting through the tall grass, though. That's a bummer. And so, what I'm gonna do, I think, is just get to the end of this second route here and then call it quits, because we are at the 40-minute mark, and that's kind of a lot. So generally speaking, that full, I'm gonna guess it'll probably take at least 40 to 45, let's see, well, maybe an hour roughly to get through this whole bit here. If I run into the Pokemon that I want to see before we get to the end, I'll definitely catch it, but otherwise I'll save catching it for the next episode, because I think that would be a little more beneficial. And also I have to run some errands today, so I do need to get those taken care of first. I just want to toast this. It is Thanksgiving, but you should toast a couple birds while we're out here. Down goes the little birdie. And yeah, I have a different flying type in mind for my playthrough. So there is a specific reason that I am not using Scarlet. If I need to use it, I will, but I have used and enjoyed it plenty of times, and I'm not necessarily infatuated with the idea of having another one. I wouldn't say no to having Bidoof on the team for a while, because it does make for a really easy, bulky Pokemon that is not outright weak to electric, but can still use water-type moves. But there are some water-type Pokemon that I've slept on, in the past that I kind of want to try out for the sake of it. Actually, I think this guy, he might have what I'm looking for. I mean, obviously, I can't take his Pokemon. I don't remember. I think he might have a different Pokemon, though. Does he have it? Oh, okay, yeah, no, Platinum Rose, he's got a totally different Pokemon. Yeah, I will not be using Burmy on my team. I do not like Burmy. I do not have any need for Burmy. I think he's a silly little guy that I would love to put in a little bug catcher, but I don't want to use him on my team. There we go. Level 10. So we'll be level 10 before we even hit the first gym, which is fantastic, because in order to beat the first gym, I'm gonna have to be at least level 16, which is when I can learn Double Kick, so... But I think right here is where I'm gonna call it, and I managed to do it before the 45-minute mark, so with that in mind, next time we will go ahead and find our second team member, but for now, I will go ahead and leave it here. Have a good rest of the day, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!